Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Larry with Packmasters Dog Training here. So I want to answer a bunch of questions kind of wrapped into one here. I'm getting a ton of email questions about the e-collar work, conditioning the dog to the e-collar. A lot of you folks have read my book and you have very specific questions, okay? Good questions. But I realize there's a bunch of you out there that are overthinking the whole situation way too much, okay? You're putting way too much thought into how to do this, and there is no exact way. Okay, so I didn't come up with some method that I created and put my name to where it's an exact science and you got to follow it step by step. It's not. So what you want to do is you want to learn the fundamentals, learn the basics, and then make it your own. Okay, everyone has their own style of training, and there's more than one way to do things correctly. Okay, more than one road to get to the right destination. All right, so a lot of the questions have to do with, how many days do I condition the dog before moving to the intermittent phase? When I'm in the intermittent phase, do I need to condition it to this command or that command? Real specific things. Just remember something, guys. You're not conditioning the dog to a command, all right? You're conditioning the dog. You're teaching the dog. The dog is learning the meaning of the low-level stimulation. Big difference. Okay, so in my case, I always start with the recall. Okay, that's always, unless very rare examples like with my own dog Luca, who don't leave your side and he's always on you. I started with the send away or the place command. But I always start with the recall, and then the next command I usually go to right away is the place command, because you always want to teach the opposite. The dog learns to come to me, he learns to go away. Okay, that's how I start off. But again, everything is taught through motivation, whether it be food, toys. So I'm not teaching anything with the e-collar, but that wasn't much of an issue. But people are getting they're worrying too much about little fine details, all right? So let's put it this way. Many people stay way too long in the conditioning phase, where you're using the e-collar every time, rewarding every time. You're taking too much time there. If you're doing this correctly, within a few days, at least less than a week, you can move to the intermittent phase. Now, another question people had is, do I still use the button before the command and after the command during the intermittent phase? Yeah, whatever works for you. Just remember this. As long as you're making it clear to the dog is learning, then it doesn't matter if you have a Southern accent or an English accent. You understand what I'm saying? The dog will understand the language. And when I say it doesn't matter if you have a Southern accent or an English accent, I'm not talking about you literally. I'm talking about the e-collar. So as long as you're teaching the dog the language, then once you get past that first couple of few weeks to where you're really spending time teaching the dog, being fair to the dog, being humane to the dog, and the dog's understanding it, then it opens up so many doors to where you'll be able to use it however fits your training style, okay? Very, very simple. But at the same time, remember, I take my time. Usually these dogs in 3 weeks never see a correction from me. Very rarely do they. For one, because when you're doing it properly, you usually don't have to. And another thing, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Dog training is a lot more than one single tool. If your whole training program is based around the e-collar, that's a problem. That's a problem. That should be part of it, okay? That should be part of it, all right? That's, the e-collar is like weight training, okay? It's very beneficial, and you need to lift weights as part of a fitness program. But guess what? Good interaction and play with your dog, that's the steroids. That's what's going to put you over the top. That's what's going to give you the best results in your overall training program. So you folks that are so focused on the tools, you have to learn how to interact with your dog and play with your dog, okay? And that has nothing to do with the e-collar or any other tool. You have to learn how to interact with your dog. So a lot of you follow trainers and learn from trainers that you've never seen them train a decent dog, okay? You look at their own dogs, you'll never see their dogs look at them, ever. That's a problem. That's a problem. Your dogs should be on you like white on rice, like just wanting to interact with you, So let's take Barrett, the German short hair pointer I have here now. Every time I go out to work or play or train with Barrett, he doesn't have an e-collar on every time. You know, last night we spent 20 minutes out in the driveway just playing, acting stupid, and he's bouncing around and he's jumping up and he's, you know, we get him excited and then I'll put him into his positions and it's all a big game. It's fun and he's happy and he's loving it. That has to be part of dog training, okay? So again, with the e-collar, guys, it's not an exact science. Make it your own. Just spend the first couple of weeks teaching the dog, being fair to the dog. And remember one final thing, folks. A lot of you are following the wrong people, okay? But just remember, if you're putting an e-collar on a dog and going right to punishment and corrections from day one, you're not a dog trainer. You're an asshole. Peace.